beach is reopened here in Florida. Let's go! Before we get started, I want to dedicate this video to the members of the Cocoa Beach Public Safety, firefighters, paramedics, and police officers, but most of all, the emergency dispatchers, the real unsung heroes. Everyone seems to forget about them, but without them, there would be no emergency responses. Why Cocoa Beach? Because that's where we're going. Follow me. We followed State Road 520 right to the beach, and the Alan Shepard City Park that's on the beach. Oh yeah, and it's love bug season. The park is named after a famous NASA astronaut. No, not that one. It's Alan B Shepard. He was the first American in space, piloting Freedom 7. And 10 years later, in 1971, he walked on the moon. Remaining in the Navy, he rose to the rank of Rear Admiral. Come on, you remember Alan Shepard? He's the one who played golf on the moon. But anyway, the city runs the park, which includes beach access, picnic tables, and a boardwalk. There was plenty of parking, however, there were no handicap spots available. Ordinarily, this doesn't present a problem, but each of the parking spaces are filled with open concrete blocks with sand filling. And they get pretty rough if you have a bad back like me. There's even more park parking on the other side of the park. And if all those spots are filled, there's still more municipal parking on the other side of Ocean Beach Boulevard. There's also a lot of free parking at Ron John's. I'm not suggesting anything, just pointing it out. Oh, and Ron John's map makes Shepherd Park look smaller than it really is. It really comes down to about here. That shared parking area comes complete with a pedestrian crosswalk and a ramp right into Shepherd Park's parking area. Oh, and municipal parking inside or outside of the park. It's not free. It's $2.50 an hour or $15 for the day, payable at one of the parking kiosks located throughout the parking lot. Make sure you have your credit or debit card with you, and don't forget to look at your spot number before you leave your car. The Cocoa Beach Police and the Cocoa Beach Parking Enforcement both patrol the parking lots, and I bet they charge way more than $15. For those of you who've never really developed a taste for sand in your food, the city's provided a number of picnic tables in the grassy area of the parking lot. Both single tables and pavilions, both covered, are available for your use. But since we only paid for an hour, we'll eat later. For now, let's check out the boardwalk. The only way to get close enough to see the ocean in a wheelchair is the boardwalk. The city claims the boardwalk's about 2,000 feet long and has 4 beach access points. The ones at either end of the walk are wheelchair accessible. The 2 in the center are equipped with steps, as is the beach access over on the north side of the park, where there is no boardwalk. The boardwalk is starting to show its age, and although the city does a great job in maintaining it, making sure there's no loose boards and stuff, it can get a little bumpy. And for those of you who are from up north, don't think of it as a boardwalk. No, I said don't think of it as a boardwalk. Think of it as a nature trail. The boardwalk's a great place to relax while maintaining that social distancing. And there weren't really that many people on the boardwalk to begin with. It's really more of a beach access and a scenic overlook than it is a boardwalk. And unless you've got one of those beach wheelchairs or something made for off-road, the boardwalk's a great place to relax and view the ocean. See, at the north boardwalk entrance, the ramp transitions right into the sand. So, 1, if you don't have an off-roader, be real careful. And 2, if you do have an off-roader, this is where you can go out to the beach. There's even a place where I can social distance while talking to whoever comes along. There's a bench on one side of the boardwalk, and a place for me to back my wheelchair into while we have a safe conversation. Only there was no one to talk to. My wife kind of had her own idea of why we were at the beach. As for me, while Gina disappeared to put her toes in the water, I got a chance to play with my camera and large lens, because there were multiple cruise ships sitting at anchor just off the coast.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Good, yourself?
Excellent.
The cruise ships, the Norwegian Dawn, the Ocean Insignia, and the Norwegian Sun, as well as the Stye Excelsior bulk fuel carrier were just a ways offshore. It was kind of like our visit to the port a couple of weeks ago, where I was able to get a shot of Disney's Magic and Carnival's Liberty. Gene would have stayed in the water all day if it wasn't for the fact that we'd only paid for an hour. But costing so much, I think I'll stick with the county park down the street. Laurie Wilson Park's been our go-to for years. So anyway, off we went, trying new things and going new places. I would have gone to Grandpa's Steakhouse across from the Highway Patrol Station, if it was still there. Also, I didn't have Barbara Eden to bring it back for me. So instead, we decided to go someplace we'd never been. In 20 years of living here, we'd never gone to the Cocoa Beach Pier. I was excited to go, but underwhelmed when we got there. Even though the pier was closed for fishing, they were still charging full price for parking, which normally includes that all-day fishing. Well, I wasn't going to fish, but I think $15 is a bit steep for the privilege of buying food.
Been here 20 years. That's the first time we've ever been on the Cocoa Beach Pier. And I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't pay $15 to park here.
That's right, the only thing open were the restaurants, and they were charging $15 to park. Who do they think they are? Universal? Now, I do realize that in addition to those folks who are fishing, a lot of beachgoers are parking there. The cost for all day is the same as the city's metered parking, but we were just going to look around. My genie was able to perform a little Cocoa Beach magic of her own, finding the only empty city's parking spot on Meade Avenue. Another $2.50 donation to the city of Cocoa Beach. Being in a wheelchair, I did notice Cocoa Beach's shortcomings when it comes to street parking. One, on Meade Street, the signs were planted firmly in the middle of the sidewalk, making it impossible for wheelchair users to stay safely on the sidewalk. And two, since the city made the sidewalks unusable, I guess they didn't feel compelled to put in real sidewalk ramps at the corner. Anyway, we just went to look around. Unfortunately, you weren't allowed to just look around. Only restaurant patrons were allowed on deck, and Jeannie suggested we grab a cold beverage instead. Most of the restaurants and gift shops were open, and we had our temperature scanned by security before we were even allowed to go up the ramp to where the host stood. The bar was closed for patron seating, and the tables were arranged for social distancing. All of the employees were wearing masks, although almost none of the patrons were. It made ordering a bit difficult. Our fantastic server, Galena, must have gotten frustrated with me continuously asking her to repeat herself. I'm sorry, but between her mask and her accent, she was difficult to understand. But she motored through and provided a great visit. Cocoa Beach Pier has been there forever, and I even found this picture of where we were seated. I didn't notice the girl anywhere, though. The pier also provided me with the best view of the ocean that I'd had all day. This isn't a food review, and we actually split an appetizer, but we weren't all that impressed. 12 overcooked wings with generic bottled sauce. But they were great as leftovers. The food was also really reasonably priced, with crab cakes costing the most at only $24. The gift shop was your basic seashore gift shop, and they have a beach clothing store that isn't really wheelchair friendly. When things get back to normal, Westgate's Cocoa Beach Pier has a meeting venue called the Atlantic. And pre-COVID, there was direct access from the beach, but I doubt that will reopen for a while. $15 is still a lot of money for parking. Maybe if I was going fishing all day, it'd be worth the price of admission, but not just to eat a couple of wings. You've enjoyed this video and you'll give it a big thumbs up. That way YouTube might recommend it to others. If you'd like to help us out as a Patreon team member, just head over to patreon.com/asbobseesit, where for as little as $1 a month you can help us out and make videos just like this one. I try to post a new video every Friday, and if you'd like to know when a new one's up, why don't you just go ahead and subscribe. It's free. Just click on the subscribe button below. And if you want to make sure of something in this time of unsurety, you can be sure you're notified by just clicking on the bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.